Does the alignment of the planets signify anything astrologically? Yes. Reaching back into the experiences of human thought, there was a time when people thought that the stars control the movement of the planets, you see, and that the planets were responsive to the stars that would appear in the night sky, and that they moved around according to their affiliation with a particular star, kind of like the child of a star. And this was the beginning of the trust on the planets as a phenomena that was not related to the general layout of the galaxy. And little by little, people began to see that the difference was that the planets must be located at a different level of transparency. And they began to come to see that the planets were, in fact, following a track around the sun, just like the Earth was. And this became the idea that the planets themselves had a mind of their own, and they weren't controlled by the stars, you see. They were only subservient to the sun. However, the truth of the matter is that the planets are the inspiration for the trust on the integration of the physical and the spiritual realms. So that each of the planets has a particular part to play in the way that creation was created, you see. So for creation to be created, there had to be a creator. And the creator had to be the one who could see far enough into the future to know where the planets would be at a particular time in order to set them in motion and give them a potion that they would dispel to the humans that would dwell on Earth, you see, because everything is connected. Everything is connected and are no mistakes. God does not make any mistakes because God has high stakes in the matter, you see. And the high stakes that God has in the matter are to always trust that everything will align in the proper time. And therefore, everything will return to its source, you see. Everything will return to its source. When we say return to its source, that's like saying if you were to turn it upside down, you would see the beginnings that give to humanity its trust on itself, you see. How did it come to be? And this is the mystery that befuddles even the most brilliant scientists today. How did it all begin? And that is the beginning of the end, you see. Because when you get back to the beginning, you can see how it will end. It will end where it began, because all you have to do is turn the universe upside down and you will see that it is a constant reflection of the other half, you see. And so the journey out of Africa will always be the journey into the world you see. And so the world you see today, Stephanie, is the world that was created long ago. This is why we call it the land before time, because it was created before you were created in a way that would say, I always knew you were coming, honey. I always knew you were coming. It's like saying that the parents prepare for the child before the child is born. And when the child arrives, there's the crib, there's the layette, there is the trust on a roof over its head. And this is the land before time. So even the fact that the mother knows how to feed the infant and has the capacity to do so is land before time. It exists before that moment when they come together, you see? Now, let us take a moment to reflect upon the alignment of the planets. The alignment of the planets, you see, is the moment in time when we will rhyme our trust on the sublime. Because the sublime, you see, will always rhyme itself with the inner trust that God must be so powerful that there's nothing in creation that can be a testament to anything short of complete awe. Complete awe to see what God has created and to see what God must be. God must be so far beyond your contemplation that to think that He would align the stars, or the planets in this case, but once upon a time they were considered a form of star, to align the stars like cars lining up at McDonald's, you see, and say, today there will be something new that will come to you. Because those stars you see are the ones that are my trust on your birth, on the birth of humanity. That through my careful construction of the world, I made sure that it unfurled in such a way that you would say, this must be the day that God foretold, when of old He said that we would be forgiven, you see. We would be given for the taking. And that is what is happening today. People are being given for the taking because they are taking each other to the trust on realignment of their trajectories. They are having to realign who they are so they can line up like cars at McDonald's and say, where's my food today? Where's my food today? What about my new TV? I thought I was going to get a new TV today. How come it's not there? How come you're not giving me my share? How come, how come, how come? How come I'm here? How come I'm here today? What's going on? Why did you make all the food go away? This is the tremendous power of God, you see, to say, I have lined up the planets today in order to say there's one missing, isn't there? There's one missing from this lineup. Can you find it? And if you can find the one planet that cannot be seen, you will find the one that mimics me because I cannot be seen, you see. I cannot be seen today. And that is the way God will play. Huh. Huh. I'm laughing, I'm chuckling because Tobias, I looked it up today. The one that's missing is Uranus. So it's like saying your ass. You can't see your own ass. To explain that a little bit better for some of us who are kind of stupid. Stupid. Uranus is the shithole that you can't see because it follows you wherever you go. So if you can't let go of all that shit you're holding back of you, waiting to swallow you, then you'll have to be tied to the trail you left behind you. That's funny. That's very, very funny. Uh, thank you, Tobias. You're welcome, sweetheart.